Section 4. You will hear a psychology lecturer giving a talk on the science of memory. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40.
Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40. Good morning. In our lecture today, we're going to delve into one of the most fascinating aspects of human cognition, memory. A common misconception is that our memory works like a computer file, where information is stored perfectly and can be retrieved without any changes. This is incorrect. Memory is a highly reconstructive process. Every time we remember something, we are essentially rebuilding it, and that act of remembering can subtly alter the memory itself. Let's start by looking at two key types of long-term memory. The first is what we call episodic memory. This relates to our personal experiences, our recollections of specific life events, like your first day at school or a recent holiday. A key feature of this kind of memory is that it has a very strong emotional element. The feelings you had at the time are often tied to the memory itself. In contrast, we have semantic memory. This refers to our store of general knowledge about the world, facts, ideas, and concepts. For instance, knowing that Paris is the capital of France is a semantic memory. Crucially, these memories are not tied to a personal context. You probably don't remember the exact moment you learned that fact. Of course, we can't talk about memory without discussing forgetting. One of the oldest theories is the decay theory. This suggests that memories simply fade over time if they are not accessed. You can think of it like a path through a forest that gradually vanishes if no one walks on it. A more active process is explained by interference theory. This is when new learning gets in the way of old information. It's a huge problem for students who are trying to revise a large amount of information for an exam, as later study sessions can disrupt the recall of earlier ones. Finally, there's motivated forgetting. This is an unconscious defense mechanism where the brain actively suppresses a memory, often because it is linked to a traumatic or highly negative event. So, how can we improve our ability to retain information? One of the most effective techniques is spaced repetition. This involves reviewing material at increasing intervals over time. For example, after 1 day, then 3 days, then a week, and so on. This is far more effective than cramming all at once because it helps to strengthen the neural pathways that form the memory. Another powerful technique is elaborative rehearsal. This is about making new information meaningful by connecting it to what you already know. For example, if you meet a person named Baker, you might associate them with the job of a baker by creating a vivid mental image of them wearing a chef's hat. This creates a stronger memory trace. And of course, we cannot overlook the vital role of sleep. While we sleep, the brain is hard at work consolidating the memories from the day. A lack of proper sleep has a profoundly negative impact on our ability to form new memories. Finally, I want to touch on the importance of this science in a legal context. For centuries, eyewitness testimony has been considered powerful evidence in court. However, countless psychological studies have shown that it can be highly unreliable. The memory of an event can be easily distorted. For instance, research by Elizabeth Loftus demonstrated that simply changing the way a question is phrased, like using the word smashed instead of hit to describe a car accident, can influence a person's recollection. This understanding has led to significant changes in police interview procedures to avoid leading questions. It forces us to accept that while our memory is a powerful tool, it is also flawed, and we must take a critical approach to it in fields from law to education. That is the end of Section 4.